Hi, this is Ed Sullivan and Marco Berti with our video podcast on the Fair Labor Standards Act. Mark, it comes to pass that um, sometimes employers get sued under the Fair Labor Standards Act, but they don't know what their liability is. What would the potential liability be in an unpaid overtime case?
Well, the good news is the Fair Labor Standards Act doesn't provide for any sort of mental anguish for an overtime case or punitive damages. So, as an employer, you don't have to worry about that. But on the other hand, what you do have to pay the employee if they prevail on their claim is, their attorney's fees. So, if they have an attorney and the attorney spent time working on the case, they're entitled to their prevailing attorney's fees, which can be substantial. They're also entitled, of course, to the back overtime pay that was due them that wasn't paid, and that can sometimes be substantial. And then, in addition, two other things that the laws kicked in. One is something called liquidated damages, which is a doubling of the amount of overtime that should have been paid. And under the law, the employer has to pay that liquidated damages unless it can prove to the court that it was acting in good faith, somehow in reliance upon a Department of Labor opinion or a lawyer's opinion, and really believed that what it was doing was legal. And that's a very high burden to establish. And then the final kind of kicker is you can either go back 2 years from the time of the lawsuit being brought to recover unpaid overtime, or 3 years if the plaintiff can prove it was a willful violation, which is kind of like we knew we were violating law and did it anyway, and that's a real high standard for the employee to satisfy. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much what the damages are available to an employee and that an employer could be subject to under the Fair Labor Standards Act.